I feel like I'm gonna cry. Working in news, you hear so many shootings and people dying. I kind of have always hated all my life when people we're doing it. We are really going there. This is something I never thought I would talk about ever. And I can't believe I'm sharing this, but I think that it's so important to talk about what's really going on kind of behind the scenes and how you keep it all going and how you keep it all together. And I think a lot of you can probably really relate to this video, and I hope through this experience that I'm about to share that I encourage you to be open and vulnerable and honest with your community, and hopefully we can better support each other mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So here we go. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ashley Bornanson. I am a morning reporter and also a voice actress. I am living in the Midwest, but I've been pretty bi-coastal, mostly on the West Coast for the last 10 years. I am a hustler. I am a grinder. I am someone who will always show up and give it 150%. When I put my mind to something, it's mine. It's gonna happen. I will learn how to be the absolute best at whatever it is I can be. I am a constant learner and grower of all things education and how to, improve yourself and how to make yourself better. And I'm guessing that you're watching this video because you probably are too, and you've experienced some of these things. So I want to talk about why you're here, which is something that I have always lived on the verge of, and that's burnout. I kind of have always hated all my life when people tell me not to work too much, that I work too hard, that I need to just relax, that I need to just stop putting in the hours, stop putting in the time. Life's all about balance. And I never really believed that. I always just felt like those people must be lazy. Those people don't have big goals. Those people don't know what it takes to really be as successful as I want to be. And so I always kind of borderline worked to the point of exhaustion, worked to the point of overwhelm and burnout. But it wasn't until recently, in the last couple months, mostly last couple weeks, that I have felt extreme burnout. And I'm not gonna lie, and I wanna share it with you because I wanna share my experience and hopefully the things that I'm doing to kind of get out of that and to be my best self. And also I just want to hear from you and what you guys do to really overcome burnout and create a balanced and fulfilling lifestyle without being lazy, without giving up on your goals, and really giving it all you've got each day, but finding that kind of yin and yang to it all. Recently I worked 12 days in a row. No one's fault. I volunteered. My boss even said, that's a lot, like, do you want a day off? And I said nope. And again, I'm someone who's like, oh my gosh, grind, like any opportunity I can to, anchor or, just take on something new and something challenging, I will do and I will say yes to. Between that and also, obviously, I'm one of the co-founders of Voice Masters that I'm so passionate about, and that actually gives me so much life. I actually feel very alive when I'm teaching and all of that. But sometimes it's not one thing in particular that's causing you burnout. It's several different factors. And for me, that's what kind of happened. I have just been going very hard, and I realized that my sleep was going down. My health was going down. I've been getting kind of sick a lot. Not like sick to the point of spreading anything or anything like that. But a lot of migraines, a lot of getting sick when I eat. I've noticed food, I'm very susceptible to what I put into my body, and just you start feeling like a robot, and I feel like I'm gonna cry. I'm so passionate about sharing this because it sucks that we're human, right? It sucks that we are not robots. I truly wish I could just like have some batteries in me and then take them out when I just can feel full again and just keep going. I want to be the Energizer Bunny so badly. And we have to acknowledge that we are human. We're not God. We do not have that capacity to just keep going. And it's also just kind of a scary state to be in. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced overwhelm and just feeling like so over your head. And I've experienced that at some points in my life, but burnout, true burnout, the Oxford definitionary that's when you know you're in true burnout. Okay. The Oxford Dictionary says, look at this, burned out means destroyed or badly damaged by a fire, gutted, having failed through overheating, electrical device, or some component, or burnout of a person, which is a state of physical or mental collapse caused by overwork or stress. She felt burned out, an empty shell. And that's kind of where I was. And again, I feel like I'm coming out of that, but it's still probably going to be an ongoing journey where you start to feel like a robot, like your vision almost gets blurred, and you start to feel like your cup is just always empty. And it's the only thing I can say is that it's like sad and also scary, and you don't even realize it. Like, it's not like I was sad or scared during this. It starts to become a state that you just accept, like, oh, okay, I'm just burned out. Oh, this is just my everyday. This is just my life. And without kind of taking time to just step back for a second and acknowledge that, you're not gonna know. It's really hard to like stop yourself before you get to full on burnout. And I realized this when we had this amazing weekend, and I'm gonna share more about it in my next video, of the first week of celebrating Alan's birthday, my boyfriend. And it was just so nice to be able to like take a break, to just enjoy friends, to not work, to be able to sleep in until 8 a.m. And I didn't realize that I just probably wasn't as joyous, wasn't as full, wasn't as even-tempered. Again, not that I'm this radical person, because I feel like I'm a pretty even-keeled type of person. But internally, you know when you're at your optimum, you know when you're at your best, and you know when you're not. And I just wasn't. And I was feeling very empty. I was feeling to the point where you look at a teleprompter and the words start to get blurry. I really didn't think this was going to make me emotional. And I don't really know why. I think it can just feel like a lot sometimes when you're going after big goals, right? So I've been journaling about this because I've been really trying to process what burnout is and how to get through it. And again, I want to hear from you in the comments below, because I'm sure all of you guys have dealt with this to some extent. And here's what I've come up with. I believe that burnout starts from a good place, a place of wanting to be used all the way up. And I'm sure you're like this as well. I'm someone who, one of my main goals on this earth, which is a part of why I wanted to even create this channel, was to really have God use absolutely all of me. A lot of you are probably making Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm sure your mom or your aunt or whoever makes the turkey, or your dad, no gender bias, they try to use every part of the turkey, right? Like, to the point where you can use the bones for broth and just every little crevice. That is exactly how I feel I want God to use me. Like, God, use literally all of me. Use my mind, use my body, use my spirit, use my soul. And I think it also comes from wanting to make a positive impact, because if you're being used in a good way to make a difference, then you're making a positive impact, which in turn makes you feel good. It gives back to people. You just feel like you're living out your purpose. So I think burnout comes from that, at least for me. You can get so caught up with that. Maybe it's work, maybe it's your kids. I can't even imagine, because I feel like any parent probably wants to give their absolute all, which can lead to burnout. So it always comes from a good place, like, use me up, let me do all I can to serve this form of purpose. But what it can also lead to is neglect in your own body and in your soul. And that takes you down kind of a bad path, because at that point you're nothing. Like, you're useless. You are not able to serve society. And I want to share this because I don't think people share this enough. You hear about people's journeys. Why I love memoirs. I'm reading Katie Couric's right now. I'm really excited to start Will Smith's. It's so fascinating to hear the behind the scenes of what's going on in everyone's lives, right? But don't you sometimes wish that you could hear that while it's happening, or maybe like a week or two later? Like, you hear about, oh wow, this person went through this terrible thing 2 years ago, and you're like, wow, how come we didn't know that at the time? And then you hear the preaching, which is, oh, people should be more vulnerable, people should be more open. But at the same time, no one is until years later. And I want to start kind of being more upfront with, okay, this is what's going on now. And how can we get through this together? Not only myself, but us as a community. I am literally holding. Good? We good? We good? So I think what happens is that you start churning away, going through the motions, trying to be your best self. But then it happens like trickle by trickle, right? You start getting a little bit less sleep. You start taking the easier route when it comes to food. You start choosing work over, a relaxing night with friends or your loved one. And it just starts happening little by little. And soon you start serving the fear instead of the faith. And you act almost from a self-conscious place, and from a place that, like, you're not doing enough. That you're a train that can just keep going, as if you're a bulldozer, as if you are a machine, as if you are battery operated, and you're not. You're not. You're a human being that can only take and give so much, and the quality in which you're giving is diminishing because you are not full. And the effects can be, you can get a little bit more negative. Again, it's not like it comes in a major wave. For me, it was just like little things. I'm constantly on the verge of tears. Oh man, life is nuts. You can get more irritable, for sure. Like, it's almost like you put on these magic glasses that are just, everything's a little bit more gray. When you're in burnout mode, you don't feel appreciated. You start seeing everything as like gloom and doom versus the happier side of things. Instead of seeing the possibility of your day, you start to see more of things as a chore, more of things you have to do versus things you get to do. You also start working for the weekend. I mean, who's been there, right? You start working like you're so excited for Friday, and who's not? Like, I still get so excited for the weekend. Just being in a place where I can see a lot of my friends now again. I'm sure a lot of you, right? Like, we've been in a pandemic for so long that it's so nice to be able to see family and friends again, obviously safely. But when you're in burnout, you can start just wanting to like wash out your week because you're so stressed and overwhelmed. It's like your room is caving in on you. And you're like trying to come up for air. And you lose sight of the bigger picture. So if you are in this state, I'm sorry. And I'm sorry that so many things have led to this point, but I think it's really powerful to acknowledge you're in burnout. Your cup is empty. You need more. But you acknowledging that is the most powerful step that you can be in, because it means you can change. You can't change if you can't acknowledge where you're at and what needs to change. To me, one of the most unattractive qualities about someone is someone who thinks they know everything. They do not have a coachable mindset. They think they've got this. They don't need help. And for you to acknowledge, hey, I am in burnout mode. I am stressed. I am overwhelmed, and I need to acknowledge this and make changes. I think that'll really, really help you. And that's a great state to be in. So I want to share some of the things that have really helped me kind of come out of burnout. And again, this is an ongoing process. I know, especially now that I'm acknowledging it, that I'm going to continue to be working on, and I want to hear from you in the comments below what you guys are doing. A major thing, Alan and I were able to listen to a sermon from my pastor in Seattle, Judah Smith, on Sunday, and it was just so nice. And I haven't been able to like just listen to a full sermon in so long, and it just reminded me how very important for me my faith is, and recentering myself every week, if not every day, in my faith and in my prayer life and in my connection with God through the Holy Spirit, letting him lead me throughout my day, giving him the power to kind of like take over when literally Jesus take the wheel, right? When I can't. And for me, just having that kind of check-in on Sunday really helped just set me up for just a more thankful week. And something that Judah said was, stop living as if, oh, Wednesday is going to be better and it's Tuesday. Like, you only have Tuesday. You only have today. Stop living as if, a day in the future will be better, because you don't know if you're going to have that day in the future. Working in news, you hear so many shootings and people dying, and I'm too emotional. It makes you so aware that time is so precious. You really only have today, and if you look at it more as an opportunity versus a chore, it's just gonna fill you up so much more. So for me, really reconnecting and praying each morning, God, help me to have just such a great day. Help me to be of service. Help me to stay positive, to stay joyful. I know things are gonna come at me today, but just help me just crush it. Help me just approach it, do the hard things first, and just, be a good teammate wherever you are, right? Whether you're in the office or whether you are, with your family, maybe you're a stay-at-home mom or dad, you are a teammate to some extent. You might be the coach of that team, you might be the partner of that team. Either way, you are a teammate, you are a player, you are a leader to some extent, whether you're on the field or off. And your mindset is affecting the people around you, and it's your duty and your job to figure out how you can have a healthy mindset. So for me, my morning prayers on my way to work, listening to sermons, is so important. Watching what I fill my body with, not turning to those things that are easy. I mentioned last week, if you want to check out that video of how to end your year strong. For me, meal prepping has been really big, planning out my things ahead of time. I noticed, again, anytime I go for that easy fix, it honestly just literally physically makes me sick. So that's been a really big thing. Also, watching what I fill my mind with. I notice I just need like happy things in my life. If I watch any TV at all, it'll be like just, a bright Christmas movie or The Bachelorette, and maybe even that's something I shouldn't be watching. I mean, it'll start to affect how you think and how you view people, so that's huge. Getting good sleep is so important. Getting good sleep, man, right though? Sleep is so precious. I have become obsessed with sleep. Ever since working on a morning show, you're just like, you value sleep so much. And something else I noticed, which has been a major help for me, is I shifted from focusing on the stress and like what's to come, and focusing more on living in the gratitude. So Alan will tell you that anytime, our Sunday little dates come to an end, if we're able to take a little trip on the weekend or whatever we're doing and we have to say goodbye, I constantly can't stop thinking of, no, when's the next time I'm gonna get to see him? And in those in that last day or that last hour or whatever, I just keep talking about it. I'll be like, no, why do you have to leave? Like, it's so annoying. It's very annoying. And this last time, I set an alarm for, okay, we're going to watch a little of this, football game, and I'm just going to enjoy it. Like, let's just soak up this time and be so thankful for what we have. I live in faith knowing that more is to come. The best is yet to come. And that was just such a better ending to a great weekend than ending on no, like thinking about what I don't have versus what I do have. Your life is so precious, and time is so dang precious. And if you right now are where I was and where I'm still a little bit battling with, and that's burnout mode, I really encourage you to take these steps and to acknowledge, okay, I'm in this mode and it is not healthy and it's not sustainable. And I cannot keep going down this path. And I promise you that this is the path to freedom. It is the path to being filled up versus filled out. You know what I'm saying? I'm really excited to hear from you guys. When have you faced burnout mode in your life, and how did you get out of it? Thank you so much for allowing me to be vulnerable this week. This is why last week I didn't put out a video. I was working on my video and it just wasn't good. It was not focused. I really wanted to show you, a weekend in life of an anchor, and I'll do better for you guys. And I'm really excited for what's to come, but I want to work from a place of being filled up. All right, guys, if you haven't already, if you're enjoying this content, let me know what other types of videos you want to see in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel on that red button, but also turn on the notifications, which is that little bell at the top, so you can be notified each week that I put out a video, so you can just get that notification and you never miss a video. I promise to have more fun content coming your way, and I hope you guys have a very, very happy Thanksgiving, because the next time I see you will be after Thanksgiving. And guys, you know how obsessed with my fall decor I am. I'm like trying to hold on to this decor in the final hours. My tree did just come in. Some of my Christmas stuff is supposed to be arriving this weekend. I've never actually had a lot of Christmas decor or seasonal decor because I was always like moving around in LA. I don't know. I just never did. And now I'm like invested. I'm invested in the holidays. So maybe I'll do a little Christmas tour if you want to see that, but I'm holding on to my fall and my precious Thanksgiving decor, because is there really anything better than Thanksgiving? And I'm gonna see if my family will get on this. I'm really want you to see how crazy my Bornanson family is, because they are wild and free and hilarious. So let me know if you want to see that too. All right, guys, I'll see you later.